Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Button Check Podcast, powered by Mainline and Smash Community. This is a podcast covering the latest and the greatest that the Smash Ultimate community has to offer, and we have we got a bunch of stuff starting with Frostbite. But before we do that, my name is Banjo, along with my co-host Jowii. Jowii, what's going on with you, man?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
So we actually have a special guest today.
Anybody important?
He's very important. I think he's important.
Oh, thank you.
Look, when he came over, it was literally like the funniest 6 hours that I have ever been awake in this house. Like, no lie. So we actually have Jaaahsh. Jaaahsh. So Jaaahsh, please introduce yourself.
Sure.
To the masses, please.
My name is Jaaahsh. It's JAAAHSH. I'm a Minnesota area event runner, but I'm also, you may know me as the head TO for Smash 4 and Future Smash Ultimate for Smash and Splash and Combo Breaker. I've also worked Genesis, Shine, Big House, Frostbite. Yeah. Yep.
This man making moves everywhere.
Just go down the laundry list.
Nothing in Florida yet. Nothing in Las Vegas yet. We'll keep us posted on that one. But yeah, so
nice.
I've been a participating member of the sort of Smash organization community for three to 4 years now, based out of St. Paul. So I do a lot of traveling. I'm also the founder of Downbeat Collaborations, an esports team that sponsors Yeti for Ultimate and Jackie Peanuts for Rivals of Ether, as well as runs our weekly stream and blah, blah, blah.
Our man has his hand dipped in just about Everything.
Well,
true.
And he's a
Never a honeypot I
speedrunner.
didn't like.
He ran
Oh,
King K.
Jesus.
Rool in 40 seconds into the end of the speedrun stage.
A classic
Wild.
one, yeah.
Classic.
I mean, he's a boss. And also, shouts out to Jaaahsh and Yeti for actually coming down to Houston at one time for the last Smash Fight Club, the Super Smash Fight Club we had for Ultimate. Not all have for Ultimate, we had for Smash 4. But it was a hell of a time, and we really hope that y'all come back. We really
It was
do.
a really cool tournament. It was a lot of fun. It was the first time either of us had been to Texas for anything other than just visiting. I think he visited family there once, but we've never been for esports tourism, so that was exciting.
Nice. Well, that's cool. I mean, we brought him on here for a reason, though, right?
Definitely. My man was showing out. He pulled out a Captain Falcon that I didn't know he had. But Jaaahsh, when I asked him that, Jaaahsh looked at me like, you know, he had a Captain Falcon. This is new to you. What's up with that, T? I was like, all right, well, I mean, it is what it is. But moving on to the biggest news that we got currently is Frostbite. Is this tournament? Is it happening? Is it going to happen? We heard that the hotel got closed down.
Right.
There was an article on Detroit Free Press, and I don't want to say anything inaccurate because I really want to go to this.
Yeah,
I really want to go to this, and I want to
Yeah, let's get the juicy, true information.
So the story is kind of boring from my perspective. I actually was on vacation for the first week of Ultimate. I was on a cruise, and I got back on Friday morning. I got a couple pings in the Discord. Kind of surprising. The only Discord I have that makes noise is the Frostbite Discord. It's the one that it's rather important, so I keep it front and center. And it was a ping from Vaseteth saying, "Hey, there's this news article going on at WXYZ, which is the main news channel in Detroit, saying the Edward Hotel was closing suddenly." And we all sort of went into a moment because we had heard nothing about it. But we found out just like everyone else, and the first thing we did was freeze registration and put out a statement.
Right.
Because the last thing we wanted was for people to think, oh my gosh, they knew about this and kept doing registration and kept pushing it even though they knew it was shutting down.
Rhyme.
That's what I was thinking, because I figured that y'all had to be in the dark. Y'all had to be.
Yeah, we said in our statement, we said it we had to make it as clear as possible. And so I drafted that statement. I was up, like I said, it was lucky. It was the day after I got back from vacation because there was so much to do that day that I was able to literally spend from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. doing PR and dropping statements and answering questions on the Twitter and on the Facebook for Frostbite. But really, what you guys saw is what we saw. The hotel suddenly closed. The Detroit Free Press and then a couple other news sources have speculated and talked about why it might have closed. We never received an official statement. I don't think the hotel's ever made an official statement relating to it. And we just that day kicked off the proper venue search.
Right. So I guess the real question I think is like on everyone's mind is like, okay, so then what do I do about my flight, right? Because like,
yeah,
that's probably the biggest concern is that if you've already booked your flight, the money's already spent, and it's kind of like, what should I be doing? Should we hedge our bets that y'all are gonna find a venue, or is that like just a personal decision that you think should be made? Because like I know one of the main 2 tournaments that are happening in the first quarter of the next year is Genesis, I guess Glitch as well, and then Frostbite are probably the main 3 that I think that are going to be happening in Q1. And Frostbite I think was the more affordable option, with Genesis being the weekend before, and so it's like for the more affordable option you chose Frostbite, but now it's like venue in the air. It's like
So what we've been saying to people, what we've been saying to players is we are actively on the search, and we're optimistic. We obviously the group of us that run it love this event. We've done it now for 3 years. It's of such a phenomenal experience and such a phenomenal time that we do our damnedest to make sure the whole thing runs. And so we are actively working towards finding a venue, ideally in Detroit or in Detroit area, so that flights aren't affected or these sort of things aren't affected.
Right.
That's part of the reason why like I wasn't tripping about it, just because like you, including like the rest of the Frostbite staff, you guys knew how important it was to the Smash community. So even buying that flight, like I didn't, but if I were to, I would just be like, I'm pretty sure that Frostbite is still gonna happen, even though like I'm reading over this article for the Detroit Free Press, and it's just like it's wild, like how this is unfit for human occupancy.
I have no
and it's
clue.
just like what exactly was going on in there that is unfit for people to not even.
They had TVs with lag and Wii U.
Had to, of course.
And Brawl in every setup. Unfit for human occupancy.
And don't forget, this was the same venue that Big House 6 or 7 happened in with the CRT that blew up.
That's
wait, what?
A CRT caught fire at Big House. I think I'm positive it was Big House.
The whole detonated?
They brought the CRT outside. This is I'm surprised you haven't heard this. There was a CRT that was smoking, and they brought it outside, and someone called the cops as if it were a bomb. There was a bomb threat called in because
the right actions.
Smoking CRT outside of a venue, and so the cops came, and there was a really funny news story about it.
This is smoking CRT. They probably did the Wombo combo. That's probably why it was
the spiciest combo.
Or it's technology that's 30 years old.
Yeah, I guess that's
boys were playing. They were playing on a Magnavox. That whole exploded.
But we're super hopeful from the Frostbite point of view. We're super hopeful, and we're very optimistic that we'll be able to find a spot. The response to our announcement was super positive. We had maybe only 1 or 2 angry folks, and it was so easy to say to them, "Hey guys, we're really sorry, but we're working with what we got."
Is
but
is there like a deadline, like a if we don't find it by this time?
Yeah, New Year's Eve is what we said in our statement. We'll be dropping word by New Year's Eve. Vaseth's hard at work. Vaseth had just recently moved to Florida as part of MVG. And so he flew back to Detroit. He tweeted about it a few times. He flew back to Detroit for the holidays, but also partially to
look for a venue, right?
Yeah, deal with this extravagance that was
happening. Hopefully that all works itself out. I know from Texas who have been to Frostbite. That's an event that we all look forward to. So much so that additional Texans we're planning to make the exodus up there. So hopefully that all sorts out, and we'll look forward to that at the end of the month.
Keep an eye out. The minute we have good information or information about a venue, should we find one, we'll be pushing it out, and there'll be all sorts of sort of cool stuff going with it. I don't think we'll just find a venue and say, all right, we found a venue, it's back on. Knowing Vaseth and knowing the team, there'll be some tricks up our sleeve should we find a place.
Nice.
Yeah, definite. You handled PR like beautifully, but a person who didn't handle that beautifully, some dude on Twitter last night said some things about 2GG. Look, I'm just saying, like, so look, in this climate, right? There's a way that you conduct business, and then there's a way that you express yourself in a positive manner or an acceptable manner because of the whole mob mentality thing on Twitter. But this dude who who on Super Arcade, the Super Dojo, like who called out Champ the way he did, and then posted the screenshots yesterday. I don't. You know, if he felt now if he felt that he was wronged, I understand, but is personally, I don't think this is the right way to go about it. If you're ever mad about something, and especially if you're the head of an organization, I don't think this is the right way to go about it. But was he? What do you guys think about this? Actually,
it's a sticky situation. Like on the one hand, if you're not based on what was shown, if that was all that was there, with the time gaps that there were, if you were left to stew in your own devices, I could see how one would, form an idea of what's happening, and then if they were to act on that, which is what it looked like happened, that's obviously not the way to handle it. But sometimes, emotions get the better of people, and in this day and age where social media is accessible, a small moment of heightened emotions can lead to a path where everything's out for display. You have all your dirty laundry in public, and everyone now gets to have a comment on that, and definitely not the way to handle it.
It's interesting too, because I think it harkens back to an era of when Smash was a little less esports and a little more grassroots. This whole thing felt very much like this guy wanted to start a beef, wanted to start a sort of movement against a tournament organizer in the same way you would have had before there were these huge money organizations that ran events so regularly.
Right.
It feels very early Brawl. And late Melee, early Brawl.
That's a good time period for beefing too. Like early Brawl, that was a really good time in Texas for like beef and like hype people. Yeah,
there was a time in competitive gaming where people were willing to like, oh, you said something on Twitter. Well, I'm gonna fly out here tomorrow. So
sure.
what's really good? That was happening a lot in the FGC community, to where people were not only taking egregious flights to go to places, but also it's just like they were about that life. But now in 2018, it's just like this really isn't the move.
It rings really wrong. Yeah, it doesn't look good.
There's
and
a
Champ
whole
is such
like
a loved figure. That's the problem too. Is Champ is such a well-loved figure in the Smash community.
Correct.
His sort of personal story is really great. His optics are really great. He's not a very public guy. He doesn't talk out. I mean, he doesn't talk and put out statements very often.
Mm-hmm. And what he does put out is wholesome.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And his Twitter and the 2GG Twitter are run by multiple people. Like it's just not something that he does. Like it's not his personal sort of thing.
Right.
And so for someone to come out of the woodwork and just sort of say, "Hey, don't support this POS," as they said.
Yeah.
It was hard to stomach. As
if that's your first move, like it's the difference between like putting your toe in the water to test it out, and dunking yourself in and targeting somebody who's so appreciated by the community. That's like going in and holding your breath for 30 seconds. And then like, I don't know, it seemed like really aggressive and an overextension of like placing blame. So, I think that's a growing experience.
I just want to like let people know, like, for the people watching this, I do want to let them know, like, bro, there's a correct way you can handle something bad happening to you, and there's a wrong way, and like, leaving everything out in the open is definitely the wrong way. Like, I know most of the Smash community isn't adults, but like for the people who are like young adults, you can at least have a conversation about it before you decide to lash out on social media and try to say something that you might regret. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this is a good move by my mans here, because now people are gonna look at him like, yo, I'm gonna go to the Champs event, because
right, especially because he also wasn't a huge figure that everyone knew. I think that factors in really strongly too. If it were another prominent figure in the sort of community, we'd have a whole different conversation. But to most of us, it's an entirely unknown guy. I've never heard of. I think his name is Andrew. I've never heard of Andrew before this moment. I've never heard of SuperDojo.
In Twitter, you have to be somebody to go at somebody else. But if you're like
unfortunately
lower stature, Twitter is not the avenue. It is so disproportionately against you.
Yeah,
that's Mike Watson, not Andrew. I apologize.
Yeah, Mike Watson. There it is. That's his name. Like, that's like if I were to go after, I don't know, Anti.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Yeah, basically, it's like me. It's like one man going up against
an
the
army of
army.
rabid fans.
Yeah,
Or followers at the very least, supporters.
I mean, SuperDojo, Mike has what I think is 12,000 followers. Like he's not, and Super Arcade isn't an unknown place. It's just not for the Smash community.
Yeah,
he doesn't really have the pull in the Smash community to really stake those claims and have people support him immediately, unless he presents his facts well. And as all three of us have sort of hinted at, he didn't. He had the receipts, but he didn't really know where to file them. You know,
right,
basically.
Right. So, that's a fair way to summarize that, I think, and just kind of as a cautionary tale of when disagreements or misunderstandings happen and communication degrades. There's a way to not burn the bridge and still talk about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But
something wholesome actually that happened this weekend, which I'm gonna take a L on that because I thought like it was a scumbag move at first that Sky ran an 8-man invitational and he got paid $15,000. He doled out $15,000 as an invitational. I thought it was a scumbag move at first because I was like, yo, like DPG is happening and like, come on, you overbooking and now you got 8 of the best players on in Smash 4 here at your tournament. But I figured out that like I was told by my colleagues Jaaahsh and Jowii that this fan he gave money to DPG. Twitch gave him 5,000 and then he put up 10K of his own money. And it's just like this is the type of wholesome stuff like I kind of want to see. Because
that's not to forgive him though. Like it's not just to forgive him because he did those that he donated money to Don't Park on the Grass as an apology. I think he fully well knew he was double booking, and it's not. I think the big thing to keep in mind here is it's not a is this guy's fault? Should he have been more attentive? This is one of those situations where we have to be really wary now as event runners or as event goers to support events that are mindful of the events around them. Now, is it to say that those 8 people or the people at the Invitational were going to go to Don't Park on the Grass?
Right.
I have no idea. They didn't really push any huge names outside of the Panda Global duo at all.
Yeah.
So
that's
fair.
It's
possible that the first weekend people weren't really biting at the hilt to start playing the game.
Yeah, and I think for most people until January, this is all getting the feel of the game. Everyone's getting acclimated to the changes. Before we got here earlier, Josh and I were talking, and he had brought up the fact that Sky Williams' Invitational in Smash 4 was one of the pivotal starting points of the meta, and how it could have potentially been the same thing here. And if you, with Don't Park on the Grass being on the same weekend, it's kind of a unfortunate situation where their audience that they were trying to reach was infringed on. But the Sky Williams Invitational, in terms of like quality and the amount of potential that it has to affect the meta, it was higher. So it was a necessary evil. I hesitate to use the word evil, but to get my point across, I think it's something that was appreciated. And that's not to take away anything from Don't Park the Grass. I think that if anyone goes back and watch the Sky Williams Invitational, right? They're going to enjoy that. It's going to be a lot of good matches because they're all top players. But Don't Park on the Grass had a lot of exciting sets in top 8.
Now, like going into those results, though, like so Tweak won. So out of all the players there, you had Tweak, Mr. E, Larry Lur, and the Cat, the Buzz, Tyrant, to Cosmos and Void. You had Tweak getting first, the Buzz getting second, and then Cosmos getting third, and the Buzz got second with Olimar,
which lends some fuel to Olimar being top tier. I think just kind of reaffirms
which means that Bill Freeman, shout out BC, he was actually right because he said Olimar was gonna be good, and now it's looking like at the highest level Olimar is least viable.
Yeah.
You know So everybody uses Crom. I hate it. Like it's literally like it's the worst thing in the world. I fight a Crom every day in 6 different places. Like it's dumb. I hate
Banjo, just throw him off stage.
Yeah, just throw him off stage, right? Just just throw Shadow PR off stage, and then the game will just play itself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just throw him off stage. Just parry the projectile. Just come on, yo. Don't
Banjo.
Let's not start. Let's not start.
Hurt you.
Let's not, bro. I got 0 to death by Shadow PR, but that's not important. What's important
just,
is
real quick, just to correct you, I looked it up real fast because I was almost positive that the Buzz didn't use Olimar in Grand Finals. He used Richter and Palutena in Grand Finals of the Skies Invitational this last weekend.
He did. He used Richter and Palutena. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
So
I saw all the games that he ran in losers.
Right. Yeah, he used Olimar for sure, but I just wanted to make sure we got that out there before we kept going.
That's so interesting.
So actually, we're just in a situation in the meta to where, like we said last week, people are just using like 5 or 6 different characters, some more than others. And the cat, however, that man seems dead set on Inkling, which is actually the right choice. To be honest with you, I think it. I think.
What do you mean by right choice, huh?
I think Inkling is terrifying. I think Inkling is one of the best characters in the game. I think if one of our roommates who didn't play Smash that much is dominating the house with Inkling, then yeah, I would say Inkling is good. I say Inkling is very, very good.
Look, man, just don't get ink on you. Huh?
Yeah. Just don't get ink on you. Just take the throw, right?
Just don't take it.
What I thought was funny too was that we also saw Cosmos use Inkling.
Yes.
And there were very few instances of people using the same characters in this 8. And granted, it's an 8-person chunk, but this 8-person chunk actually had a pretty diverse character breakdown between Olimar's, between DeBuzz's Olimar, Palu, and what did I just say earlier?
I saw a couple of the Spaceys being used.
Yeah, they were using both Falco and Fox, and then someone was using Wolf.
He ended up using Wolf, so
Mystery used Wolf.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think with the 3 tournaments that we're going to cover in here, I think all of them had pretty diverse spreads on the characters. I think there was very little doubling up, and all the doubling up I think was mostly top tiers, like the ones that are currently being touted as good in the meta. I love that part of the game's meta development when everybody is viable.
Yeah, I thought Smash Out was dope, but don't park in the grass had kind of it had like 2 of the characters that like I've always wanted to use, but then again to Smash Out, but yet he won using also Snake. So it's like like seeing all these characters like being used by all these like top level players, it's really encouraging, and I'm like learning a lot. But out of all the tournaments that I saw this weekend, I'm pretty sure like DPG was like my favorite.
Yeah. So just to rewind a second so that everyone watching this remembers and knows all the things went on. Skies Invitational happened in California. Is that right? I don't remember where Sky lives right now.
I believe.
Regardless.
Yeah.
When it was won by Tweak, who used Crom and TK. We had Don't Park on the Grass in Seattle, won by MVD, who used Snake. And then Smash Out was a large charity event that happened in St. Louis, Missouri, won by Yeti, who used Mega Man Snake. So we had Snake win 2 events this weekend. And then Tweak's DK,
Ally
of course.
One last weekend, right?
Yeah, Ally took one in his own region, and he Snake.
Yeah, so Snake showing some dominance out here early, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he demands so much counterplay.
Yes, that's for sure. And then you can see in early Brawl days, this is the same situation.
Right.
People developed Snake tech faster than they countered it. And so you'd see a lot of in early Brawl Snake players who would lose to randos, but like would have a really interesting gameplay, would get very far, and then a month later, everyone, oh, okay, wait a minute, we know the thing, we know this little trick now, so let's make sure we're over here. And then Snake's full of that. Snake is the Yomi onion, like it's just how he plays.
Agreed.
I love it.
And so I look forward to seeing a lot of Snakes following initially in these footsteps of, especially MVD's Snake, that use a lot of grenade pressure, almost like a portable duck hunt can, to get themselves out of bad pressure situations, of which there are a bajillion in this game. So it's a great time to have a frame 1 grenade.
Right, exactly. I also so I want to take time. Talked about the Guy Invitational top 8. So there's some characters in there that we discussed: Spaceys, Inkling, Olimar. Who does Tweak use currently?
DK and Crom.
DK and Crom.
So if you're interested in seeing sets with those characters, that's the one that you want to check in. With Smash Out, you had Mega Man and Snake by Yeti, right? Strack played Link There was a Mii sword fighter in their top 8 and a Mii gunner in their top 8 of like 400 plus players. They also had some Pokemon trainers, DDD, Ganon, MK, and Inkling. So if you want those matchups, you can go check out Smash Out's top 8.
Specifically, real quick there. Specifically, there were 2 really interesting sets involving a pseudo Ditto and an actual Ditto. SuperDojo and Anonymous Moniker played in winter semis, and that was Mii Gunner versus Mii Sword Fighter. What is the strangest thing I've ever watched. And then Globo, who was a Bayonetta main in Smash 4 out of St. Louis, he played against SuperDojo in losers quarters or semis, and it was a Pokemon Trainer Ditto. They both did Pokemon Trainer, so that was cool to watch because I hadn't seen one of those since Brawl. If you're a Pokemon Trainer player, there are things that happen in that set that you need to know about. Things like denying Ivysaur Ledge and that sort of thing that the character has great counterplay to itself, as you would expect from a character that can change characters, like change forms.
3 matchups, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Proverbially, technically, Pokemon Trainer Charizard would be the best heavy because you can just instantly transform into a lightweight.
It's true.
So, like I'm sitting here playing Passion, and Passion was doing like he was changing in the Charizard and buffering side B. He was buffering Flare Blitz. So as soon as he came out of chain, and he was hitting people with it in bracket and killing them, and it's just like, all right, so this is something.
That's it.
Yeah. And like the fact that you have like 3 different characters with 3 different movesets to kind of just like figure out like. And
it's
like
a massive spread of matchups that you're gonna have to figure out in order to play against them.
And you can see that, especially with some stuff that was happening in our area, saw Tenny was like annihilating people with Ivysaur, like bad. So it's just like you got 3 really. You got 1 character combo, 1 character that's all around, and then you got 1 character that's just mean and just doesn't care what you do. He'll flare blitz at like 0 and kill you and stuff like that.
Good times.
It's not good times. It's not good times.
The last little note to throw in about Smash Out is it was the only tournament this last weekend that featured so many heavies in the top 8.
Right.
We had.
See, that's what I like.
So we had.
I think DPG might have rivaled it.
DPG,
because they had like
Register and Big D. Oh, and Conga. That's true. There were 3. There were also 3. There were also 3 at Smash Out. LSX Andrew playing mostly DDD, but switching to Ganondorf when he was pressured.
Yeah.
And then She's Bears and K. Rule, which played exactly like you think it would. And even at this point, I think we might start considering Snake a heavy, though. That's probably
that's what I was going to say. I think Snake might be considered a heavy just because he's durable, lives long, hard to kill. And some of the qualifications.
I'm hopping over to Kurgana Hammer, which does have weight listed out already, and I'm going to double check us real quick. Snake is listed as a heavyweight. He is as heavy as Rob, heavier than Link.
And then just quick shout out to SLU Chu, one of the TOs, for feeding us plenty of this information about the characters and the character people that played them. And then to continue on the same thread of sets to check out, I think Banjo, I'm with you. DPG was a phenomenal top 8. Some of the sets that you want to watch out for, pretty much anything by Big D. Big D was so exciting to watch.
Yeah, we call that man Inspector Gadget because you got trench coat picks.
Bro, he's so good. His match versus Magister, he plays Incineroar. He played Falcon, and then he played DD first game and second game, and then runs the reverse 3-0 back with Falcon against Magister's Incineroar, so 5 games of Incineroar, which is great. Big D's match versus Conga, which is 2 big boys. I think he played the first game with Peach, and then the rest of it was like DDD and DK, so that was great to watch. And then Sam and Conga is another great one to watch. It went to last stock game 5, Pika DK. I think all of those are recommended sets to watch.
Honestly,
they were all dope.
Yeah, literally just top tiers going at it, and probably the best that we're going to see them. I think Conga is still going to be the best DK, but in this game, it'll actually
he'll have competition.
Because Tweak messed with DK like a lot.
Tweak loves that character. If you talk to Tweak about Smash Ultimate, even during the demo at Big House and then afterward, DK feels like a dream to him. And I think he said on Twitter a little bit ago, man, I tried Banjo, I tried Bowser Jr., and they just don't feel right. And I think there was a hint that DK was the answer. Obviously, we saw Crom, and I think it's wise to go to Crom, but, bless or not, that's up to you. But
No, the DK bless. If Tweaks goes DK, that's going to be so hype. Because, I mean, he's a top 10 player, like, at any time, pretty much.
Yeah.
And So a top 10 player maining DK, that means you're at nationals, you'll see DK regularly in top 8s. That's a great timeline.
Yeah, because when he reset the bracket with DK as CEO this past year, I was screaming in the stadium because I was just like, "Yo, this man is incredible." And it's been a long time coming. See some of these heavies duke it out some more, especially at the highest level. That's going to be tight to watch, to be honest.
And speaking of heavies, just to touch on the fact that we just talked about Magister and breeze it aside, the former Charizard main, who also mains drawing inappropriate posters, did so well this weekend.
He did
with Catman and Incineroar.
Catman.
Yeah.
What even is Pokemon Sun and Moon? No, so just did so well.
He did.
Sorry, he played Big the Cat.
Yeah, you're right.
Big the Cat, purple skin, best skin. He did. You're right. Him and Verminubis both had pop-up performances. Just to recap on Magister, he was the first seed in his pool, but he wasn't in the top 12 seeds. He beat another first pool who was seeded to make 9th, Len. He also beat Locust, who was the 4th seed at the tournament, and he made it pretty far. I think he affected a lot of the top 8 seeding predictions. And then Verminubis, who was rated as the 3rd seed in his pool, he beat the 2nd seed to get out of it. He beat the 1st seed of another pool. He beat Big D, who was having a really good tournament. And then he only lost to Esim and Magister, who both placed top 8. So
I just realized that I had lunch with that man. Go ahead.
Verminubis played Ganondorf, correct?
I actually didn't get to catch his matches because they were kind of early on. But
he wasn't getting main in Smash 4, but
correct, exactly. That'd be great to know because if he made Ganon or had that kind of performance with Ganon, it's gonna be great as an indicator of what Ganon potentially can do in the early meta.
He played Ganon against his Pokepen, who's using Isabelle, and he used Ganon against Big D.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. It looks like it's almost exclusively Ganon for him.
Woo! And Verminubis, shout out to Verminubis. That's awesome.
Yeah, playing heavies in any game, bro. Like honestly, jars people. Like people don't want something like large attacking you at all times, and it's just like now a bunch of these heavies are fast. Like DK is fast. Bowser is OD. Bowser lost weight. That man is fast. Like Incineroar kills you at absurd percents. Like I saw, which is hilarious to what I'm guessing Magister probably did. It was just this man was just killing indiscriminately with rope throw. Just killing people over and over, and it's just stuff like that.
Intentionally messing it up sometimes when it was
to gimp opponents. Yeah.
Because the move itself is a built-in DI mix-up. Because if they hit it dead on, you get sent directly behind them, so you want to hold left. If they mess it up, you get sent vertically, and holding left actually hurts you and makes you a little more vertical.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a built-in DI mix-up. You sort of have to guess at the fatal percents. But I do. I mean, go ahead.
It's interesting that both Incineroar and Chrom have notably terrible recoveries. And yet, Chrom is at the top of most people's tier lists, and Incineroar had success at a good, sizable tournament.
Well,
but it's not on top of anyone's tier list.
Chrom notably, but he's towards the top tier area of the tier list. I've seen a lot of people, and I think they're overestimating him. Obviously,
I think it's just way too early for a tier list. I should say, but at the same time, it's just both of these characters' recoveries really aren't that great, except it looks to me it's just one ground game is just better than the other.
Right.
So and also, it's really what it is.
The new engine with directional air dodging and the way that the ledge functions. I mean, Chrom's recovery may be terrible, but it's serviceable. It exists.
Yeah,
it's not fair. It's not Little Mac. It's not at least old Little Mac. You can gimp him with a well-placed aerial or well-placed tilt, but
basically,
if you don't, he's come back, and that's fine. His ground speed and his air speed and his stage presence is so scary. The minute he's back on stage, you have to start panicking.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool everybody forgets that Incineroar, he has so many good tools. What's that lariat, darkness lariat is just invincible.
Down tilt lariat.
It's invincible on startup. It's a high damaging move. Of course, there's rope throw. He's some of his normals cancel into each other. They combo. Excuse me, not cancel. So you can do down tilt, down tilt, up tilt, and then jumping neutral B, and then you'll just 50 damage. Hey, good job, guys. Like stuff like that.
Well played.
And it's just like
Well played.
it is really weird if you think about it, how Chrom is at the top of the tier list supposedly, and then like Incineroar's down there, but Incineroar's ground game is almost as good as Chrom's.
Less fast, and the dash speed hurts a lot. But we'll see. I mean, there have been plenty of folks in the past that have proved us wrong with regard to slow characters, and certainly using it to their best advantage. We should, however, talk. We celebrated the folks who did really well to embark on the grass, but there are some folks that also didn't do super well who were expected to that are also notable.
True. Yeah. According to the top 8, and I'll just recap them quick. The projected top 8 was supposed to be ESAM over MVD, and Captain L, Locust taking 4th, Conga Pandarian at 5th, Big D Cost Ismos at 7th. And among those top 8 people, 3 of them did not make a reappearance in the top 8 that ultimately finished out. Locust, Pandarian, and Cost Ismos.
So before that, going that, it's interesting to think about how this must have been seeded. Look at this list and say to yourself, this isn't even the end of Smash 4. You wouldn't seed this the way at the end of Smash 4. You'd have put Conga much higher. But there's this interesting thought that, wow, Ryu's better. Wow, Pikachu's better. These players are going to be terrifying. And that doesn't always work out. You know?
Yeah.
But in the early parts, you have to kind of seed with the expectation that because they're playing X character, like let's say Sam Sora in 2 weekends when he goes, that because he plays Peach, who's so massively good in this engine, you should seed him higher because it's expected that he'll place higher. So, you kind of had your bets, and in this situation, maybe it didn't work out, but I don't think they're wrong for seeding that way. Oddly,
I agree.
Right?
With the way the game is made up, I would say Captain L, like when everybody figured out what Pikachu was, the Captain L was like, alright.
He seemed scary. He seemed like the scariest one. I would honestly say, like, it was surprising to me he wasn't seated higher, but I guess you don't really want to push back. Both ESAM and MVD played so much Brawl, and there's such a clear Brawl reference in this game. But like I said, like Pandarian being number 5 definitely feels like, Meta Knight's still good. We might as well seed the kid high. He did really well at the end of Smash 4. And then, of course, he doesn't quite work out. I mean, he didn't do. I think he got 9th. He didn't do terrible.
Yeah, no, he didn't do terrible. He, I think in terms of like the top 8, probably had like the worst quote unquote performance because he lost to 2 people that weren't seated, in the top 12, and then he only, as far as like people doing well as they're going through him, he lost like 1 top 8 placer. So like in my mind, the more people that make it into that top 8 that you lose to, it's like, oh, I lost to 7th place and 4th place. That's not a bad representation, but he lost to Magister in order to ultimately like knock himself out. And Magister just had a pop-off tournament.
Yeah, a lot of people, because of that so-called bad recovery, a lot of people are like, writing Incineroar and characters like that off, or they're going by a tier list, and that might be what cooks him in tournament. It's just like, it's number one, like it's day what? It was like less than a little over a week old when this tournament popped off, right?
Yeah,
so,
day nine and 10.
It was day 9, bro. So
digits?
It was literally everything was on the table. So it just depended on how, like, not only on how well you knew the matchup, but also like how well you were like grinding this game and how good your fundamentals were and how well you adjusted to the system.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of players right now who are like, going to tournament and getting washed. Not to say that they're bad, but this is the type of thing that happens when you're essentially getting used to a new game. Day 9.
Game.
Yeah, everybody expects that they were just gonna like jump in. It's like, oh, this is like the same. No, it's not. You gotta.
Well. For Rob and Ness mains, it is.
It's true. For a lot of characters, they play similar enough. Ness is definitely a great example. Rob's a great example. Robin, even to an extent.
I mean,
there's a bunch of
example. Like in Brawl, Brawl Snake, it's very similar. You don't have the jackets anymore, but
there's a bunch of like characters that were in Smash 4 that were like meh, and a lot of people like they loved the character and they didn't mind because they were meh and they made it work. But now they're like, oh yeah, Ness kills, PK Thunder kills. So guess what? I'm real good with Ness now, and it's just like you can see it with like a lot of people too. Like
the glow up is real.
Yeah, the glow up, yeah, yes, bro. And it's just like
High School Reunion came too fast.
When the low tiers take over, like people that dedicated themselves to like solo maining, like the lower end of the tier list last game, the people that got like buffs, I'm happy for them. They stuck it out with characters they liked.
These are the big Ds. These are the Raitos, the folks whose characters got incremental upgrades.
Yeah, and I'm so happy for them.
Oh God.
Duck Hunt is good now.
Yeah.
People are putting him really low on their tier list because I think that it's, again, one of the situations where it's a character that needs a specialist to do well, but I think Duck Hunt kind of slaps, guys. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that.
I think projectile zoners in general, like that's like in Ultimate with air dodges being nerfed and shield being nerfed, like fighting against people that force restrict you in any way, either to be in shield or restricting passive movement. All of them are like kind of scary right now.
Yeah, that's why King K. Rool is pretty much the most fair character in the game by far.
By
far. I said King K. Rool is the. What are you talking about, bro?
What do you mean I'm talking about? What do you just said King K. Rool was fair.
He is fair.
God, all right, he has a fair. Anyway, we had there was an interesting tweet that happened right after Dumb Park on the Grass. I think it was linked somewhere. Yeah, it's right here from HBox. I'll read it real quick. He had an interesting observation, and it's of course it's very HBox to stir the pot in this way, but I think there's interesting things to talk about within this little thing. He says, Don't Park on the Grass 2018 was the first major tournament to happen after the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Oh my god, he said the whole name. Peak viewership for Ultimate was around 2 to 3 times that of Melee, but number of entrants was only 6% higher. So he was comparing, of course, people at home watching to the people that actually went to Seattle and played. Ultimate had, he's citing the numbers, Ultimate had 581 entrants, or Melee had 546 entrants. That's only 35 entrants more. But he's claiming 2 or 3 times viewership. Now, I'll let you guys give your thoughts in a second. My initial thought about this is, of course, there are more viewers for it. It was produced by VGBC, which has a huge audience.
Exactly.
And it was the first weekend of a new game. You can think about when you started playing Smash Brothers, you thought you were garbage. You didn't want to go and lose to randoms. You didn't want to go and spend, especially for a major, you don't want to go the very first weekend of a competitive game and spend $70 to get in the door and then, heaven forbid, having to spend more money for the whole weekend.
Hell no.
Like the game yet.
Not at all.
First of all, I need the top 8 to happen so I can stop having I need, top tier.
But so I thought his observation was pertinent, but I'm looking it up right now. I'm pretty sure registration for Don't Park on the Grass closed before the game came out. Let me double check. So anyway, what are your thoughts? What are some other factors you guys think about with regard to that HBox tweet?
Right, this is I don't know what he's like exactly nitpicking about, but like Melee's been around for like 15 or some odd years, like more than that, right? So it's just like for a game to have 500, for Melee to have 546 entrants, and there's a lot of factors that could go into that. Like number one, Melee could be like a bunch of like, grown men with jobs who can actually afford to buy a ticket to Seattle to come play in the tournament.
Banjo might have died off.
Like it's just like I think it's like kind of a nitpicking thing. Like if you want to compare like viewership to number of entrants, then of course viewership is going to be high. It's a new Smash game that people have been buzzing about for nearly a year. So yeah, the viewership is going to be 2 or 3 times higher than Melee, and maybe the Melee community is pertinent over there in Seattle. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think I read this. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, finish your thought.
Also, I was going to add real quick. We also were hot in that moment, and we're still, by the way, in that moment where Smash Ultimate is a top 10 game on Twitch. So it's getting casual viewers as well. Melee hasn't cracked the top 10 outside of majors in a very long time. But I'm looking at it right now, and Smash Ultimate's still sitting right now at 33,000 viewers, and it's Wednesday night. It's above PUBG, it's above Hearthstone, but it's below Call of Duty and below League of Legends. But still, it's in a prime spot. If you're just browsing Twitch and you're a 22-year-old, let's say, who played Smash as a kid, you're looking to be like, oh my gosh, Smash Ultimate's streaming right now, and you click on it and you watch Lord Knows Leffen or Nairo, both of which are streaming right now.
I know a common rhetoric. As Smash 4 was ending and now that Ultimate's out, a lot of people have ambition to be streamers for Ultimate, like specifically like when Ultimate comes out.
So many streamers, so many people have came up and talked about like how they've like wanted to stream, and like I get it, but this is like something that you have to put time into for. Not to say that you can't do it, but it's just like if you want to be a streamer, then of course you're gonna have to like put in the work. But if you just want to stream the game, you know what I'm saying? It's two totally different things. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
fair.
like me and Jowii, like in our community, we looked at some of this, and I even put out a post in our group talking about hey, who's streaming this game, and at least 30 people was in that thread.
54 comments. Like
Jesus.
54 comments.
Oh my goodness.
54 comments the first day. I was looking at it and I was like, really? Oh, all right. There's 54 y'all. All right, fight for the days.
Just make sure all of them make the gameplay the full window. Please God, I'm so tired of these streams that have like the 60%, like it's up here in the corner, and like the game is only 60% of the window, and their face is the other like 30, or some gross graphics. Dear
You know
God.
why they came? They didn't come for the game. They came for me.
Super guilty of that. I'm sorry, Jaaahsh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know.
The gall of this man. The hubris.
For the record, Hungry Box is doing that right now. In case you wanted someone to lean on in that regard, yeah, he's got his little postage stamp picture in the bottom right, but then he's also compressed a little bit. Whereas at least everyone else, Alpharad, Leffen, Nairo, looks like they're all doing the box in the corner, but game is full screen sort of thing.
Look,
that was my plan to do, but
with HBox's tweet, like I think what he's saying is a good conversation starter, which I think was the pure intention of it. My only gripe with the entirety of it is that he didn't call it Smush. If he would just call it by the correct name, this tweet would have been so much better. I'm sure it would have gained so much more traction.
He called Smash Brothers by his government name, bro.
All right, thank you all for tuning into Button Check 2.
This man used a government name. He said, "This is Super Smash Brothers Ultimate." I was like, "Oh."
Well, it's next week for when we talk about our favorite ice cream flavors.
No, we talk about the different variations of name and what they say about you as a player. That will be next episode.
Neapolitan is dope. Actually, we need to have a conversation as to why you like Raisin Bran.
Bro, don't try and slander me on a media that is going to be put out there.
I'm not slandering you. You definitely said that you would eat Raisin Bran and Raisin Bran Crunch. Remo, I know you listening. Grape Nuts is still disgusting. Honey Bunches of Oats is still disgusting. Something that's not disgusting though is Let's Make Moves. That's happening this week.
No, wait. We'll talk about that next week.
The Sage Gen transition.
Yeah, first of all, that was a terrible segue. I'll show you a better one. I don't eat Raisin Bran. Banjo eats Raisin Bran. Now,
that's definitely a lie.
In 2 weeks, let's talk about NYXL pop-up this weekend with Nairo confirmed, Tweak, DeBuzz, Larry Lur, Mr. E, Light, Sinji, Vinny, John Numbers, Shoyo James, and Kiki. Well, y'all get John Numbers of Wii Fit. Come on, I want to see if Wii Fit.
No, don't act like we, bro. Don't act like we. Stop.
Okay, this is what I'm saying, living in a bubble, man.
This is what you did with that tiger person over there in St. Louis. This is what you did, and you screamed at me because I didn't know who this person was.
You uncultured man.
Who was John Numbers?
Wait, so you actually don't know who John Numbers is?
Thank you, Jaaahsh.
That's actually a little surprising. So this is, this is New York Extra Large, NYXL. This is just like the New York homecoming first Ultimate tournament. Everyone you named there, except currently Tweak, who lives in Ohio. Right. Everyone else is New York. Reps it when they go out of state. They go in state. John Numbers has been a staple in New York for a while, and he has traveled. He's a Nintendo champion. He won a Nintendo multi-game event. He had to win at Tetris, and he had to win at this, that, the other thing. But yeah, he's a figure. Is
John Numbers the guy that went to the Nintendo Invitational and won it or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Exactly.
That's John Numbers?
Let me tell you, Banjo, my DMs are open and ready for your apology whenever you're ready. I'm just saying.
Look, I'm not going to apologize for knowing somebody that I didn't know.
The man suffered through Wii Fit trainer for the last 5 years.
He deserves more respect.
He deserves more respect. This man's a Tetris champion. You're right. I should actually just chill. So
it's looking like, unfortunately for us, I think he played Palutena or Inkling. I'm looking really quick on some videos from Team Spooky.
I'm dropping from the list. He's not important anymore.
Deadly Alliance had their first gauntlet, which is their regular event, and it looks like John Numbers played Inkling in grand finals against. Oh no, sorry, John Numbers played Palutena against Inkling. So he was playing Palutena. So I don't know, man.
I'm gonna cross my fingers. I hope he at least busts out Wii Fit at some point on stream because I just want to know how Wii Fit really is. I need somebody who played him in Smash 4 who can bring over some of that spice and let me know if it's worth playing in Ultimate because it's Wii Fit. It's got a face model.
For those of you at home that mained a low tier in Smash 4, please lean into the monitor or on your cell phone, whatever. Right now, I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be honest with you. You are forgiven for leaving that character in Ultimate. You can go to higher ground. Please, if you made Bowser Jr. and you feel tethered to that curse,
I love Super Mario World.
You have nothing to prove, man.
I love Super Mario World.
With my blessing, and presumably the blessing of the individuals I'm seeking to, go forth and play Inkling or King K. Rool or Richter or whatever the flavor of the week is.
Here's the way to put it. You have nothing to prove. No one to impress. No one's
okay, hold on.
I played Punch Out in 1987. I love Jigglypuff.
Those are not related statements, right?
I mean, being real with you, like I would definitely play Banjo-Kazooie even if Banjo-Kazooie was low tier. And in this game, like
it's an admirable thing to commit yourself to a low tier, but if you played a low tier in Smash 4, you paid your dues.
Look, honestly, it just depends on what you value in the game. It does. Like if you out here and you're just playing like fun and stuff, you just beat up on your friends and stuff, then yeah, you can use one of these bad characters. But if you out here but if you out here trying to win, then you need to use one of the sword people or this Inkling character.
Hold on, you don't need to, but you should.
Right.
You should.
It's in your wallet's best interest.
I don't know. I'd be losing $5 every time I enter a tournament somehow. So
I can tell you why, but I won't do it on air.
Ooh. Nah, you need to go ahead and say it. You need to go ahead and say it. No.
Do you want me to list you the reasons in alphabetical order or chronologically?
I want neither.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. So,
all right.
I feel like
we've covered a good amount of information. We covered what's happened this past weekend.
Hey, man.
No, hold on. Who's our pick for winning New York Extra Large? Is it just Tweak?
Clearly, it's John Numbers. Clearly.
I actually.
All right, that's $5 that Bongo just put down for John.
Oh, are we doing this? We doing the 5?
No. Don't get this man started. Don't.
I love side betting. You saw me at Super Smash Club.
You saw me in Super Smash Fight Club 5.
Okay, all right. We're all three here. We're all three adults. Who y'all got? I'm gonna go ahead and say. I
got Tweak.
I'll put it on.
I got 5 on Tweak. If we doing this, man, I got 5 on Tweak.
I'm looking at this list. I think I have to say. I expect Light to be the breakout performer. I don't know if he'll win, but I expect Light to at least hit top 3.
I agree.
Okay.
And I think Sinji will break fairly.
I have Sinji in my top 4. I think
top 4
Sinji
is a little
Pac-Man.
ridiculous.
I don't know, man. If Pac-Man hasn't changed much, and he's still playing Pac-Man, that same advantage that the Robs and Ness have when they came over with their characters that haven't changed much, I feel like he'll have it.
I'm going with Nairo. I think I would go with Nairo only because I think in early metas, Nairo has proven himself time and time again to be very good at gut reactions and knowing what works and what doesn't.
Hold up.
Okay. All right, for the sake of diversity, then I'll put DeBuzz down. So then if Banjo's got Tweak and you have Nairo, I'll go ahead and put DeBuzz's name in here. And somebody's going to earn $10 next weekend.
You really have Light in your top, not Light, but Sinji in your top 4?
I don't.
Bro,
I'm washing my hands that one.
If anyone's supposed to pop off,
then you put Light.
Sinji, if you listen, I love you. Good luck. Do the thing. But
Hey, okay.
Look, I got nothing but love for Sinji, but that's Pac-Man going up against.
It might be wishful thinking. You're right. You're right. Yeah. It might be wishful thinking. I'm gonna be wishful. I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna be optimistic. Maybe foolishly so. I still have the Buzz winning it. Bless the Buzz.
You know what? Go with your gut.
We'll see.
And I'll take that $5 from you, Joey. But yeah, we covered a lot of material today.
Yeah, and so I think next week we'll probably recap NYXL's results. We'll see who wins. We'll see who gets the money in the end.
Bring me the 5 this Saturday.
Look, I'm gonna send y'all guys my PayPal right now. That way y'all have it. I don't want to have to talk to y'all before I get my money.
While these two bicker in the background, thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow us on Twitter, Jowii at SU_JOWII.
Correct. Thank you.
Banjo at Banjo Plays Banjo.
That's
and
me.
myself at Jaaahsh, JAAAHSH. Two of us tweet interesting things. I'll let you decide which those two are.
Look, don't you do that. Love you for coming on, Jaaahsh. It was great.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
This man outed himself so bad.
No, wait a minute. No, I know which of the two I am. I'm sure you don't know which of the two you are.
Thank you guys so
Okay.
much
All right,
for
talk to you
watching.
guys later.
We'll talk to you guys soon.
Later, guys. Thanks for coming to the Button Check. Thank you for watching. Please listen on SoundCloud. Please watch and retweet on Twitter. Please subscribe on YouTube to mainline.gg.
There you go.
Mainline.gg.
Shout out to
Absolutely.
mainline.gg for making this all happen.
Thank you. And we will see you guys next week.
Later.